Hello, today I'll be walking you through a 17.24 average of 5 I got on 3x3 Blindfolded. It also includes a 16.24 mean of 3, which is my PB, so that's pretty cool, although there are definitely ways that could have been better, such as less lockups and things like that. So I also got a 14.94 single on 9 Algs as the first solve, which is very cool. I believe it's my third ever 14 on 9 Algs. So yeah. Also, these solves are going to be more geared towards advanced and intermediate solvers than beginners, because I use 3-style and I do float sometimes. Also do other various tricks every once in a while. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're watching. Anyways, let's get into the first solve of 14.94. Okay, so I use Beth's UFUFR. And besides, well, I use Beth's except for using Y instead of X. But yeah, so corners first as images. I'm not gonna go into the images I use much, cause like they're some of them are dirty, some of them would only make sense to me. But anyways, yeah. So also edges I use audio, so I'll just sound them out unless it's inappropriate. Anyways, YT, YouTube, BV, Beaver, DL, Dull, EQ equals. So I make images out of those, and then ER, and then TB. So tab, KY, K, AS, PO, PO. So I would then put the blindfold on and start exec. I exec edges first. So for ER, I do L prime U wide into this 5 mover. Then undo the setup. TB, I do E into this 8 mover. And then of course the last move cancels with the inverse of the setup. And KY, so I executed it like this. Although that's actually pretty awkward, and like it's not that awkward, like it works out for me most of the time, but a better way to do it is like this. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. And then AS, so I do U M prime into this 5 mover. Undo setup. And then PO, I believe I did it RUS like this. Although another good alg is doing it RDM like this. But yeah, so next is corners, YT, YouTube. I do RU prime D prime into this 8 mover. But actually the last D2 cancels with the inverse of the setup, so like that. Then BV, I shot to V here when the buffer was solved, because that's just like my best place for cycle breaking. So yeah, I did BV, and my alg looks like this. So it's a long alg, but you could think of it this way. Put this corner back here by doing R prime DR, then do U prime, and then put this corner into here by doing R D prime R prime. And then you do U, and then just undo those first 7 moves. Yeah, and then you would do a U prime at the end of that. So I'll just show it one more time. Looks like this. Alright, and then I had a DL, so D, and then 8 mover like that. Then EQ, basically just the last layer case. Like that. So very solid solve, I'd say. My third ever 14 on 9 Algs, so very happy with it. Yeah, very good TPS too. So the next solve was a 17.94. Okay, so started out with corners FU, bar, BR, and then N. And then I saw these two corners twisted in opposite directions, so I could do those in a single alg and exec, which I'll show during exec. Yeah, so then edges, KD, kid, HA, ha, NP, FO. And then I use UF-UFR swap when I have an odd amount of corner targets, which I did in this case. So this is technically solved because when you swap UF-UFR, instead of this being here, it would be here. So once I reach the O, these are actually solved, and then all edges are solved except for these two flipped edges. So I keep these two in mind, which I'll do in a single alg later on. Anyway, so I start out exec with the other edges. The reason I wait for these until the end is because I do weird rotations and then an alg and then rotate back, so it saves me from having to rotate back if I save those for the end. So for KD, L prime, and then 8 mover, which just cancels into undoing the setup, and then HA, it'd be U, and then 8 mover, and then NP, I believe I did it like this, and then 5 mover, and then FO, S prime, and then 8 mover. Still keeping these edges in mind, but first I'm going to move on to corners, because that's what I did in the solve. So FU is U prime, R prime, U, and then 8 mover. BT, or no, not BT, BR, sorry. R prime, and then 8 mover. Although another good alg, oh, messed that up. Alright, so for BR, another good alg is doing R2U, and then 8 mover like that. Both of them are very good algs, so yeah. So anyways, I believe I did this though. So then I would do my parity alg for here, which looks like this. And then I would do these two corners by doing a beginner's method type of thing. So like R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R to orient this corner, and then D prime. And then the inverse of all those moves to orient this corner. And then D to put it back. And then after that, I did this weird rotating thing where I just did X2, Y prime, and then this alg. Nope, not like, yeah, like that. So here, I'll show it one more time. So it looks like this. There's definitely a better alg for that, probably rotationless. So something I should definitely keep in mind is learning to do 2 flips, like the good algs for 2 flips, because those could definitely be helpful. I know Graham Siggins has a spreadsheet for them, so yeah, that's something to keep in mind. This was a 17.94, so the next solve is a 15.84. Alright, UN, un, EI, like I, then KH, clutch. Alright, and then edges, WA, wah, JB, jeb, LN, lin, OH, O, UG, ugh. So then I would go right into exec, WA, just a 4 mover, JB, E prime into an 8 mover. Also, I should mention that I do the last 2 moves at the same time because you can, like that. And then LN, L prime into 8 mover. And then OH, believe I did it like this. So R prime U wide, and then 5 mover. Although another good alg is just doing S prime and then an 8 mover. So yeah, and then UG, I believe I did LF, and then a 4 mover. And then for corners, UN. So U prime, R prime, then 8 mover, and then EI. So I do it like this: L wide prime, U, and then 8 mover. Then this cancels, so I do like U, L wide like that. However, I don't even end up doing the L wide actually, because with my alg for KH actually cancels. So, because basically I would do U. Here, wait. Let's backtrack. So I have EI, and then instead of doing the last move, I would do another U. So then I could just do an 8 mover like this, and then undo what the set it moves would be for this last alg, which is like that. So yeah, 15.84, pretty solid solve. That's what I ended off on in my 16.24 mean of 3. But yeah, so let's move on to the next solve, 20.89. Alright, so this is actually a pretty unlucky scramble. It was 11 algs and 10 algs is normal. And like one of them is kind of like 1.5 algs because it's a 3 twist, so it's not even as fast as the con. But I still got a 20 on it, so that's pretty solid considering the scramble. So basically what I started out with was noticing that this corner and this corner are both twisted counterclockwise. So I kind of just keep that in mind and visualize it. So DT, because like these were all cycle break because I can't hear, and these are another good place. So DT, don't, ES, S, then the letter I, and then after all that I would do the 3 twist counterclockwise for here, here, and here. But for edges, I'll do UFUR swap because I have an odd amount of corner targets. So BK, book, and then M. Oh yeah. B is where I chose to cycle break just because that's what I typically do. And then M, and then I'll cycle break to D next. So mad, RF, roof, TQ, tequila, OJ, Odge, or like orange juice, and then D, and then I'll cycle break to Y, day, DY, day, and then W, G, wig. So then I'll start exec. So BK looks like this. And then MD is just an 8 mover like this. RF looks like this. And TQ, just another 8 mover, so M, U prime, R prime, U. And then OJ, not an 8 mover for once, so R prime, U wide prime. And then this 5 mover. But then it like cancels. Oh wait, no it doesn't. Ignore what I said, yeah. So then DY, I do it like this. L, U prime, L, then 4 mover. But then it like cancels when you undo the setup move. And then, alright, WG, I would do U, and then this 8 mover. Then U prime. Alright, and then for corners, so DT, I do D prime into an 8 mover. And then ES, I do UD, R prime, and then I have this easy 8 mover. And undo the setup move. And then my parity alg for I looks like this. And then lastly, this 3 twists. So what I would do, or what I normally do for this specific case is L wide prime, anti-soon, U2, and then U perm like that. And then like yeah, the R prime at the end. So something else that I could definitely improve on is learning good 3 twist algs, because like that alg probably almost definitely was not optimal, like speed wise. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyways, moving on to the last solve of 17.93. Okay, so this last solve was actually pretty crazy. It was a 17 on 11 Algs. So to start out, WB, and then UP, up, YQ, Yilch, DE, D, and then the letter I. So I have an odd amount of stuff, so I'll do a UFUR swap. Okay, so edges, JF, Jeff, KY, K, and then cycle break. So I believe I did BW, Bow, and RA, Rat, TD, Tad, VM, Room. So, with that being said, I started the exec by doing JF for edges, which is just this easy 8 mover. Very fast. And then KY, so I believe I did it like this, which is a little worse than doing it like this. So that's definitely something I could do better. Then, oh shoot, I just realized, no, I didn't cycle break into B, I cycle broke into M. Just cause, like, when I see this, how it's flipped, even though this just means, like, the buffer's solved, like, it's just an instinct for me to go to, like, M when this is flipped. So, yeah, I actually did M, and then S. So, MS, MOS, so I do this alg. And then HQ, high quality. Then NE, knee. And then OB, ob. So 8 mover. Pretty simple. And then corners, WB. So pretty long alg, but it looks like this. And then UP, up, RD, and then 8 mover. YQ, RU prime, and then 8 mover. And then DE, I do it like this. U prime, R2, U prime, 8 mover. Undo setup. And then just my parity alg for I, which is like this. So that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and learned at least a little bit from it. So yeah, I'll see you later. Goodbye.